Welcome to Menopause Monday. Today I'm talking about cumulative stress. We've just come out of a pandemic from 2 years, and now Ukraine has been invaded by Russia. And I think it's safe to say that every single one of us is feeling more anxious and concerned about the future. And it's completely natural to feel that way. I think some people deal with anxiety better than others. And certainly over the last few days, I've had so many messages from you relating to how you're feeling and how overwhelmed you're feeling right now. And I think it's really important that we take time to acknowledge those feelings, but also to give you a few tips on how to somehow continue with life, because it feels really, I don't know about you, I feel really disconnected. I feel very anxious about where this is going. I feel a sense of helplessness. I'm finding it hard to focus on things. I think that's a common problem in situations like this. And you're just so fearful for the poor people that are suffering as a result of this. And I think if you're quite a sensitive person, you feel that collective grief, that collective helplessness. But also there's such a sense of strength. It's just phenomenal seeing how the people of Ukraine are fighting to maintain their independence. And it's really heartening too, that they're putting up such a strong fight. And I don't know about you, I really want to be able to help in a way that aligns with how I want to help. And so at the end of this, there are several links that range from safe websites to donate, to peaceful protest places around the world and the times that those peaceful protests are taking part, and just informational websites to make sure that you're not getting the fake news, because there's a lot of fake news out there. We all know of the propaganda that exists in Russia, and it's just really important that when you're getting the news, make sure that that news that you're finding is the right news, is the true depiction of what's going on, because there is so much fake stuff out there. I think we all hope full-scale conflict would be avoided, and I'm just so surprised that it hasn't been. But some people are just hell-bent on destruction. So you might be feeling overwhelmed, you might be having constant headaches, tummy problems, fear of the future, feeling a sense of numbness. You might be having difficulty sleeping. You might be drinking more than usual. You might be taking more drugs. You might be soothing your emotions through eating the wrong kinds of foods. You might be feeling angry. You might be more irritable. I feel more irritable. You might be feeling apathetic. You might be feeling overwhelmed. You may have growing feelings of sadness and depression. All of those feelings are completely normal. And while some people will get back into the normal routine of life as fast as they can, you know, like the action takers, sometimes when it's other people won't, and neither way is right or wrong. It's just how we all respond differently to situations like this. We all respond differently to stress. Remember, we've just come out of this pandemic from 2 years, and stress levels are at an all-time high. On top of that, being menopausal makes you more prone to anxiety. It means that you're probably sleeping less. You're probably having difficulty with your sense of identity. And it's a tumultuous time of life. I have to say, when you look at the invasion of Ukraine, it does put it all into perspective. I think one of the good things about, not good things, but there's a positive to be brought when we're brought together in a common sense of unity against a common enemy. And it really does make you realize that where you may have had like little niggles, or you might not necessarily agree with the way something might take place because those people are slightly different to you, when we're fighting a common enemy, it definitely brings us together. And I think we needed that as a world. Over recent years, things have become more nationalistic. We are becoming more isolated, and it's the gap between them and us has grown. And I think that's a very dangerous position to be in. The benefit, or the one positive thing I can think about with this is that we are all pulling together to try and help to protest against the invasion in a positive way. And I think we have to try and find the positives in situations like this, because otherwise what happens, we sit and it can become completely overwhelming. So firstly, on the news, just to sort of give you some tangible things that you can do. Make sure, I mentioned it earlier, but make sure you're getting real news. Like I said, at the bottom of this, there are some links to places where you can definitely get the real news that's happening. There's a lot of information on social media. I think a lot of it's easy to tell if it's the true stuff or the propaganda, but just make sure that you're getting the real news. And also beware of not being obsessive about the news. It's very easy to sit and watch it all day, all the updates, and the majority of it is repeated stuff. And maybe just allow yourself to dip in the morning and maybe dip in the evening, so that you've got an idea of what's going on without it becoming all encompassing. If it starts to have a negative impact on your normal daily functioning, that would indicate there's a bit of an issue going on there. So be aware of the amount of time you're actually spending watching the news. I know it's addictive. We want to know of all the immediate things that are going on, but balance that out with your mental health. You have to take ownership of your mental health. You have to take ownership of your health in general, particularly during times of crises. And right now, it's a global crisis. That cumulative stress from the pandemic, with the menopause, with the war, with the potential of what's going to happen in the future, none of us knows. So you have to take responsibility, take ownership of your life within this greater pattern of what's going on at the moment. Get outside, connect with nature. I think there are a few things more grounding than being outdoors, hopefully in the sunshine. It is getting slightly warmer out there, but just connecting with things that are much greater than ourselves. Look at social media that inspires you. I can't remember the Hiking the Globe and various social media accounts like that. In fact, I've just shared one, or in fact, I share them on my stories most days. Something that's just beautiful, that sounds nice. The visions are beautiful, and it's been scientifically proven that just by looking at images of nature, expansion, it has a calming effect on us. And right now, our fight and flight systems are all triggered. So focus on the things that are going to help to calm you down. But getting outside into nature is one of the simplest things you can do. The next simplest thing is breathe. Focus on your breath. I bet I'm doing it too. We're breathing shallowly. To breathe deeply right into your stomach. Maybe lie down and place your hand on your stomach, and make sure that it's your stomach that rises first before your chest rises. And then so breathe in through your nose slowly, and then breathe out slowly through your mouth. Hold your breath for a while if you're able to. Deep breathing, it's such a simple thing to do, and it does help. It helps us to calm down. And it's so few of us do it, but make a practice of it. If you're feeling really anxious, make a practice of deep breathing, morning, noon, and night. Absolutely. You can do it where you can do it sitting on the toilet. You can do it standing in the shop in a queue. You can do it sitting in the traffic lights, in the traffic, waiting at the traffic lights. You can do it when you're at your laptop. Just make sure that you're doing deep breathing, because that does have a really calming effect on the body. Journal. I think journaling is such an important tool that we can use to help get all the out of our heads onto paper. I don't know if you see, in the morning most mornings I share a quote I call them happy-tivity quotes. They're a bit like, some of them are truth bombs, some of them are a bit more positive, some of them are a bit more motivating. At the moment, I'm trying to focus more on how the impact of this is happening I don't know, in a way it allows me to express my anger, hopefully in a positive way. But that is my sort of way of journaling. I don't sit down for hours to write. But then a lot of people find that really beneficial to write, to just get it out of your head onto paper. So find what suits you best. You might want to do things like the little happytivity cards. You'll see them on my stories. I do them every morning. I've got some highlights in my Instagram underneath my profile of the ones that I've shared. And right now it's my way of dealing with what's going on. They're not always personally driven. Sometimes if I've spoken to someone and somebody's got some problems, sometimes it's like a secret message or a secret support to somebody I've been in touch with. But it's just a nice way, for me, it's a positive way of dealing with negative emotions or frustrations. So find what works best for you, but writing is incredibly important. Read a book or listen to a book. Now, I normally at nighttime read personal development or business development. I love just expanding my horizons and learning. I love learning. At the moment, my brain doesn't have that capacity. So I'm reading novels. I haven't read fiction for years, and I've read Frenchman's Creek by Daphne du Maurier. It's really easy. It's a really sweet story. I love Jamaica Inn by Daphne du Maurier. Find something that suits you. I'm actually currently reading, and I've just also started reading a book about these 60-year-old men who went backpacking across India, because I'm planning on doing a similar trip with my daughter and hopefully my son at some point in the nearest future. And so that's quite funny. But so one of my good friends, Keith Foskett, if you like reading about hiking, he's very funny. I've got his whole collection of hiking books. Have a look for him, Keith Foskett. He has some amazing books, and in a sense, because his sense of humor is so funny, and his books take you on a journey, some through mental health issues, but combined, intertwined with nature and the expansion of these massive walks that he does. Yeah, I give him a look up. He's you will find, if you like being outdoors, if you like the sense of hiking and you just want to learn something, experience something different, his books are brilliant. I'm a big fan of him. Plus he's a really nice guy. Avoid numbing your feelings with drink, drugs and food. I know it's easy to get to the end of the day and just say, I'm just going to escape. I'm just going to have a pint of this or a glass of this or a bottle of that, or a line of this or a tab of that, whatever it is. It won't benefit you. It might soothe your nerves for a short while, but they do have depressive effects on you. You do not want to be adding extra depressive effects into your psyche and into your physiology right now. I know how tempting it is, but if you're able to lay off it, don't abuse your body and your brain by eating and drinking the wrong stuff. Try and prioritize sleep. Again, I know how difficult that is. The reading a book for me ties into prioritizing my sleep. I've been an app the last 2 months, a month certainly, I have committed to prioritizing my sleep, and I feel better as a result of it, a lot better. I never sleep right the way through the night. I have cats, I have dogs, I drink loads of water, so I always have to get up for a piddle. But being able to get back to sleep again. And then in fact, something that I've started doing recently is if I'm struggling to get back to sleep, because I suffer the same as everyone else. I get into bed and my brain is like, I have this vision in my head where I'm attached by like a silvery thread into my stomach, I think, my belly button. And I'm floating in like spatial plasma. It's dark, it's a bit sparkly. And sometimes I see myself floating in it. And sometimes I actually sense that I'm floating in it. And just by focusing my brain on that image, it cuts the other thoughts off and it enables me to go back to sleep. If you struggle with sleeping, I have I think it's a great book. It's a book I wrote, but it's about all healthy sleeping habits, and it will help you improve your sleep no end. So if you want that, just send me a message, or I'll put a link at the bottom. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link and that will take you to that. And I will also add a healthy breathing book that I also wrote. It's not just about the deep breathing, it's about how to improve the air quality in your house and how to really make the most of air, and why it affects us in such a beneficial way. So I'll put a link to that. If you're watching this on Instagram, go to the link in my bio and click there and go to the free resources tab, and you can see all the free resources in there and you can get them from there. If you're watching this on Facebook, head to either my YouTube or my Instagram account, Kate Hartley UK, and you can get hold of those, or just message me and I'll send them through to you. Talk with someone you trust. And I think talking is a massive thing. I'm talking a lot with my family at the moment about what's going on, and I think it just helps, particularly if you have people who are involved to a degree militarily. It's obviously they can't share vital information with you, but there's something quite comforting about talking with people who are boots on the ground or have some sort of, I suppose, strategic knowledge. And if you have nobody that you can talk to, consider your community to help you. There will be support groups, the church. Even if you have no real belief system, I just think sitting in an empty or a quietened church, there's something so profoundly relaxing and comforting about it. It really helps you engage and just engage with expansion of life. And I think there's something really powerful about it. It's hard to put into words, but there's just that sense that it allows you to be vulnerable, but also, I don't know, connect to something bigger than you. And I think when you can connect to something bigger than you, it has a really profound impact on you. In fact, it almost makes you feel emotional thinking about it. When my dad died, it took me ages to get into a church afterwards. Whew, and when I did, it had such a profound impact on me. It made me feel so much calmer and so much more connected. Oh, I'm going to move on. So you can see how profound that is, but sometimes you just need to go and connect and be vulnerable and raw, and it helps you feel so much better. And then take action. I think one of the major problems with this is that we all have such a sense of helplessness. There are things that we can do. We can donate to safe charities where the money and the resources are actually going to get to where we want them to get, bypass the corruption. You can stomp with your feet. You can go and attend peaceful protests. You can help with food banks, maybe collecting resources that are going to be sent over to Ukraine. Again, at the bottom of this, there's a list of organizations where you can explore more to see how you can donate or help in some way, shape or form. And when I say that, do something that aligns with you, that fits into the time that you have and the way that you want to help. If your neighbor is doing something entirely different and you're feeling guilty, or you're feeling helpless, or you're feeling like they're doing it all and you're not doing anything because you can't commit to that kind of contribution or time, do what is right for you. The smallest amount. Imagine if all of us, if the entire world gave a penny or a cent to those people who need that help right now. What a massive difference that would make to them. But we tend not to, because we think, oh, it's just so insignificant, but not when it's done on a massive scale. So even if you think it's whatever you can contribute is tiny, still do it, because it's going to help. And when we can all allow ourselves to understand that tiny, tiny, tiny contributions done by a lot of people is so, so powerful. And if you believe in prayer, pray for those people that need that help. Put out those positive feelings and thoughts and energy in order to Greed and evil will ultimately implode. It will always implode because it comes from a source of, of selfishness. Well, selfishness eventually implodes. When you can come from a place of love, it's expansive. And love will always prevail. It will always win. The light will always beat the dark. It's just grim times at the moment. So we have to look after ourselves, look after the communities that we can, be kind to ourselves, acknowledge how we're feeling, but turn that into positive action so that we can actually do something to help rather than sit like a rabbit blinded in headlights. So I hope that's helpful. It's I think we're all in this situation together. Nobody has the answers because nobody knows what's going to happen. All we can do is come from a place of love and try and acknowledge how we're feeling, and just pray that this situation doesn't become worse than it already is. So thanks for joining me, and make sure to check the links out at the bottom here for those resources that you hopefully might be able to use to be helpful or so to support you. There's some mental health links there too if you're struggling and you need help. Always ask for help. There's always somebody there to help you. Take good care, and I will catch you soon.